All right, everybody, welcome to another special edition of the Leadership Blend, we'll say TV and podcast. And I am elated to have another great speaker from the Mogulcon event that happened on a couple of weeks ago. So today we have with us, so listen, y'all know how I am about information and passing that information along, especially when I find subject matter experts. And this amazing coach today has subject matter expertise in LinkedIn. So, I know many of you guys that follow, many of you guys that watch the show, you kind of hear me talk about it, but I know it's still kind of a taboo subject that a lot of people really don't get into. So I'm really happy to have this amazing expert in the studio with me today. So today we have with us, do you like coach or just, what I saw coach on here, coach?
Most people call me Coach Tajuana, my Coach Tajuana. Some people call me the LinkedIn professor because that's the brand they see out there. But either is fine by me.
We're going to go with the LinkedIn professor. We're going to go with that today. So we have the
Love it.
LinkedIn professor, Mrs. Tajuana Ross with us today. How are you doing today?
That's Miss Tajuana Ross. I
Miss.
am very, very single. Okay.
Okay, so scratch that, Miss.
Scratch that. Let's get this popping off right. Okay. There will never be a Mrs. in front of my name. It's Miss
Okay.
Tajuana. Okay.
Miss
All right. We
Tajuana
family
Ross.
now. We family.
I know, right? We cool like that. So Miss Tajuana Ross. So tell everybody about you a little bit about your background.
Oh, thank you so much. And first of all, thank you for having me. I am certainly honored to be here. And most people do know me as the LinkedIn professor, especially for the last 6 years that I've been in business. And most people know me as the one that you come to when you want to go from being the hunter to the hunted on this platform. Because when you understand the power of this platform and the power of your brand, you see that you become sought after. So my job is to teach those experts of the world who are typically looking for opportunities, how to go from being the expert to actually being the influencer in their industry, using that strong brand, using a powerful platform like LinkedIn to become those influencers who are at a totally different tax bracket. So my background, 20 plus years in the corporate space, my career was based in B2B sales. So I was either in sales, sales management, sales training, but mostly in the B2B space. I'm a total nerd, and business is my favorite subject to study. So I immersed myself in that business space. And thank goodness that I did, because I woke up one day and just decided that I wanted to leave my job. I wanted to quit that corporate life. Even though I had the lifestyle that most people aspire to, I was very happy. I had everything that I wanted, except literally, I woke up one day and just decided I want to quit my job. But the thing was, a few moments later, I realized I don't know how to look for a new job. And that was because in my career, I was always taken to the next level. Someone would see my skill set, they would see the value that I brought to the team, and they would bring me to their team. So I didn't really look for jobs in my corporate life. Therefore, I got to this space where I wanted to do something different, and I didn't exactly know how. But I remember a coworker told me, Tawana, you're a professional woman. You should be on LinkedIn. He told me about a year prior, and it dawned on me that he was right. I've got to get on this platform. But when I got on the platform and I kind of played around with it, it was very daunting, very intimidating. I had no idea what I was supposed to use this tool for and how. So I immersed myself in all the webinars. I read the books. I reached out to the LinkedIn influencers. I learned that platform. I played around on it all day, every day for 2.5 months. And lo and behold, I actually got several job offers. I had 4 new job offers that were better than where I was. So the tool proved itself to me. But the one thing that it did in that 2.5 months that I never anticipated is that it connected me with resources and people and tools that allowed me to start my own business. That was never part of the plan. Starting my own business was never part of the plan. I was comfortable in my corporate life. I had what I wanted. But the power of that tool and the power of my brand allowed me to go from where I was to where I never thought I'd be. And here I am 6 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
The
So let's
yeah.
let's let's start here because when people are asked what is LinkedIn, most people say it's the professional Facebook. Is that a fair depiction, or would you define it another way?
I understand why people call it that because the only other reference points that we have are social media that we know: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, right? LinkedIn is truly different and unique. And I wouldn't categorize it as the professional Facebook, although I really do get why people call it that. And so, if that's the common reference, the the thing that I would encourage people to know about LinkedIn is that it is a professional platform, but in my opinion, it is a huge branding tool. And that's how I teach my clients how to use it.
Okay, so when we talk about branding, what does branding mean to you? Because I think people have this ideology, and it's just from the people that I've dealt with around and about with the people I work with, that logo, as long as you have a logo and a tagline, that's a brand. This is just a general consensus, like consensus. Like as long as I have a logo and I have a brand, and I may get incorporated, maybe not, but the logo and the tagline seems to be the running theme of how you have a brand. You're
I,
laughing.
I
You're
I
laughing.
I
Really?
am, and I'm completely biased here as a certified personal branding coach. So I'm thrilled by this common perception. I've heard it before as well, but being that this is my lane, I can truly let people know that it's way more than that. Should you have a logo, and should you have some taglines and verbiage that people would recognize about your brand? Absolutely. That's a small part of the bigger pie. And to me, your personal brand represents what's unique and different about you versus all the other people that do what you do. What do we say about you when you leave the room? What is that thing that you do for us? What is your special sauce? All of that to me is what your personal brand represents. And if you think about a tool like LinkedIn that allows you to leverage all of that, imagine what happens when someone like me, who was not even on the internet, couldn't even find me on social media in 2014, can now be here talking about the power of LinkedIn. That's crazy.
All right. So when you think about starting, let's stay in the branding space. So when you think about starting a brand, what should you start it with? Is it just a concept? Is it an ideology? What should you start a brand with? Like if
Well,
you don't have anything, what
it's
would
a
you
little
start
bit of all that. So I actually take my clients through a program where we create all of that. And we start with what they want the actual message to be. What is the intention of this brand? What's it supposed to do for people? And we build from what it is they love doing, what their skill sets are, the things that they can do in their sleep better than anyone else. And we find, again, what's the special sauce behind that? What makes them unique in that space? And we build a message around that. We build the whole storyline around that core message. And of course, we add the visual branding components as well. But the main piece of it is, what is the actual message? What's the intention? What is the marketplace supposed to get from you that makes them want to fork over their credit card number?
I actually like that. Fork over the credit card number. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. So,
I got to point out April Beverly here, who is an amazing copywriter. She would say, "Smack the buy button," and that's what I go by. What is going to make people smack that buy button? And that's April Beverly, another mogul.
okay, I like that. I like that. All right. So, stepping into the LinkedIn space. So, when you create a profile, there's this little bubble thing that tells you the level of the effectiveness of your page. The little round thing.
Mhm.
How important is that? Is that really something I should really pay attention to, or is that just kind of something that kind of happens as you fill in content places and it's kind of based off a percentage?
Well, it does improve or lower itself based on the content that you add to not just your profile, but your entire LinkedIn presence. So, yes, it is monitoring and measuring all of your activity, all of your content, and all of your presence on the platform. So, yes, it is extremely, extremely important. This is one of the slides that when people see me speak somewhere, I always have the slide covering this, your social selling index, your SSI. Some people who have been around in the social media space since the beginning might remember that we used to use something called your clout score to measure how effective you were on social media platforms, so Facebook, Twitter, etc. Your clout score would let you know whether or not your presence across the board was doing anything for you. But the reason these scores are important is because they are measurable. This is measurable intel that you can use to tweak your approach and your strategy. So if you know that one of your lowest scores is your engagement on the platform, then you're going to spend more time and energy engaging. If you know that your lowest score is your actual message, your profile itself, you're going to put more energy into that. So your social selling index, your SSI, incredibly important. I encourage people to check that on a weekly basis, if not monthly at the latest.
Okay. All right. So when you're building your LinkedIn page, are there certain areas you should make sure you should be mindful of? Because I've done some research and I know it was saying about your heading should be something catchy and not just a generic heading. Pictures versus the cover photo that's behind the picture. Are there certain areas I should pay attention to when I'm creating my first LinkedIn profile?
All of the above.
I'm
So
doing pretty well today. I'm
you
doing pretty
you
well today.
you are killing it, I gotta say. Yes. So you're right, your headline on LinkedIn is extremely important. In fact, from an algorithm perspective, it is the most important real estate on your profile. It is the heaviest weighted content on your entire profile. The thing about your headline, though, to your point, is you don't want the default headline. Okay, this is where I tell people never default to the default. Anywhere on your LinkedIn profile that allows you to customize the content, customize it. Create something that stands out. Make us stop scrolling. Okay, when we log into LinkedIn, it's just like on Facebook and other platforms. We are scrolling on our screen. Make me stop scrolling. And you do that by giving me something that is not the default content that I'm used to seeing. Your headline is the one piece of content that follows you everywhere on the platform. So no matter what page we see you on, we're going to see your name, your picture, and your headline. So your headline has got to be something that gives us your value proposition, what it is that you do, who you do it for, and why should we care? All within 220 characters. And I gotta tell you, my clients will back me up. We spend an incredible amount of time on customizing that piece of real estate because it is so important on your profile. But to your point, everywhere else, still customize everything. The banner at the top of your profile, we can tell when either you are not tech savvy, you might be of a certain age, or you just haven't touched your profile in many, many months. Because if you haven't customized that banner, you are missing out on a huge opportunity to give us what your personal brand is all about immediately. Okay, so customize everything, but all of it is important. Your profile and what we see or don't see on your profile is critical because we make a decision about you within moments of looking at your profile. In fact, LinkedIn tells us that the vast majority of its users close out of a profile within 4 seconds.
4 seconds.
4 seconds.
That's barely
That
a glance.
means that exactly. That means we opened your profile, we saw that default banner, we saw a default headline, we didn't see anything other than your resume bullet points on there, and we didn't see the need to continue. So we went on about our day.
Wow. Okay, let's shift this. We were talking. I feel like we're talking about people looking for a job. What about if I'm an entrepreneur and I need to utilize LinkedIn? Is it important that I have just a personal page that talks about me as a CEO, or should I have a CEO page that talks about me and a business page that talks about my business? Does it matter?
Oh, it matters. It definitely matters. You need still your profile on LinkedIn, but you also need a business page if you're an entrepreneur or business owner. You definitely want a business page for so many reasons. You know, when we look at your profile, we get down to that section where we see your experience, we see that you've got your business listed. If we look to the left side of that listing and we don't see your logo there, we immediately know that that's not a real business. Because if it was a real business, you would have an actual business page. And the one criteria for creating a business page is having an actual business email address. So when we look at your profile and we don't see the logo for your business, we immediately know this is not a real business because you don't have a business email address. You're probably using something like my name at Gmail, my name at Yahoo. None of those are business email addresses. And if you had one, you'd have a business page on LinkedIn. So we immediately make up our mind about your credibility just by whether or not you have a business page. Not to mention, it's a whole new piece of real estate that people can engage with you and what it is you do so that you can grow your bottom line just from being on this platform with a presence, right? So not having a business page is a showstopper.
Okay. Okay. Good deal. Good deal. You spoke about degrees of separation.
Mhm.
The explain that for those that didn't have never seen a previous interview. What is degrees of separation as it pertains to LinkedIn?
Yeah, so actually, LinkedIn was created off of the premise that there are 4 degrees of separation, so that anyone you come across, you know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows that person, right? We have very small bubbles essentially. So the premise of LinkedIn being that when you think about your business network, your professional network, you want to have a very strategic, uh, um, small group of people that you can rely on and do business with and build deeper relationships with. So when you're in LinkedIn, you have a network. Those would be your first level connections, the people you are directly connected to, the people in your inner circle, so to speak. And then there's your second degree connection. Those are the people who know the people in your inner circle. And when you have the free version of LinkedIn, you'll notice that there's a third degree. That
Yeah.
third degree are the people that don't know someone that knows you, essentially. And you don't have access to those folks if you have the free version of LinkedIn, because the idea is to widen your scope and to grow your network. You would want to have access to those folks as well. But really, when you're in LinkedIn and using it strategically, the people who matter most are your first level, your first degree of connections, and that second degree. Because the people in your inner circle are the ones that you want to build those deeper relationships with, nurture those relationships so that you can get to some of the folks in that second degree. And those are the people who may not be aware of your brand. They don't know about what you do, but they could be people who should be in your inner circle. So building the relationships and nurturing them on this platform is how you build your professional network.
Okay. Okay. So content,
Mhm.
post, things of that magnitude. Is that something that people should be doing every day? And let's hit it from both sides. So let's start with the people who are looking for a job. If you're telling me I'm supposed to be posting every day, but I'm looking for a job and I really shouldn't be limited to my resume, what else should I be posting on a day-to-day basis to keep me relevant and keep me in the algorithm?
Content that's industry specific, content that's job specific, current events, curated content that maybe you saw somewhere else or you saw someone else post, but it's relevant to what's going on in the world, is relevant to your industry, or it's something that will make you stand out as the influencer in your space versus just someone on the platform. Okay. Your content matters because it's a way for us to keep you top of mind. So if you are on the platform posting content on a regular basis, we remember you. When we're scrolling, we stop to see because we recognize you. We recognize that you're consistent and you always share something of value. So it's very important in terms of being someone who stands out, whether you're looking for a job or whether you own a business.
So if I own a business, should I be posting content to my personal page as well as my business page, and that content should correlate, or how would that work if I have a business page and I have a personal page?
Well, you would have both if you've got a business. So your content that is specific to your business would come from your business page. So things like you might be offering something coming up for a sale. That would probably come from your business page. However, just like you do on other platforms, you may share that from your profile so that the people in your network also see it, because the people in your network aren't necessarily the same group of people who follow your business, just like on any other platform. So it's a combination of both. It's just a matter of perspective, because the content that comes from your business page is directly related to your business, while what you post from your profile might be more personalized and customized based on what your brand represents.
Should I be careful with that, especially if my personal page has my business listed on it? Should I still be mindful of what I post, and it shouldn't be that wayward compared to what's on my business page? Because people are gonna, they may get the one before the other.
Sure, and they have the ability to see all of it. In fact, people who are really looking at you and considering you for something like a job or considering to do business with you, they are looking at your whole presence on the platform. But what I encourage my clients to do is remain true to you, no matter what that means. So be totally authentic from both spaces in all of your activity. That means that if we see you on another platform, that we recognize that you're the same over there as you are over here, as you are over there, and your brand is consistent, because that's what we've latched on to, is what it is that makes you unique. So if you've got a particular style, show that style on LinkedIn as well. Do you need to be mindful about what you post on the internet? Sure, we've got to be mindful of that anyway, but that doesn't mean you shift from who you really are. We should still have access to all of you on LinkedIn the way we do on all the other platforms. So I know, and my clients know, the people in my inner circle know that when you're around me, this is not a child friendly environment per se. I cuss, that's my language. So if I speak that way in real life, you better believe when you go to my LinkedIn profile, you are going to see profanity. That's the real Tawana.
Okay. Okay. Well, actually, that's a good place. That's a good space to kind of ask some questions. So, when we talk about placing content, would you agree that that content needs to be tailored for every outlet? So, what I may post on Facebook may not necessarily look like what I post in on LinkedIn, and what I post on LinkedIn may not look like what I post on Instagram. Is that a good rule of thumb to kind of follow? That it needs to be kind of tailored to where it's being put, and not just a generic post that goes across all three or all four.
Yeah, in my opinion, your content should be tailored. I've seen where people have the same content posted to every platform on a regular basis, and it makes it look so inauthentic in that I can bet that they've got a social media manager that's doing all those posts for them versus them touching the tool and having those deeper relationships themselves. So it's a turnoff to see the same content everywhere exactly the same. Whereas on LinkedIn, especially, this is the perfect place to tailor your message because this is a professional platform. The whole intention that people have when they log on to LinkedIn is to do business. Their intention when they log on to Facebook is to get away from the world and see their friends and family. So that difference in their intent leads to a totally different outcome. That's why the conversion rate on LinkedIn is so much higher than the conversion rate on every other platform, because people are going there to do business. And if you've got that in the back of your mind, your message is tailored to that differently than what people are expecting on the other platforms.
Okay, good deal. Making contact. Let's say that there's a I ask somebody as a friend, they accept the friend request. I really want to make contact with them. What is the best way I should do that?
Okay, let's go back a step in your question. In making contact with someone on LinkedIn and whether or not you actually connect with them. Okay, I want to point out something that is quite different from the normal procedure. Most people see someone that they're not already connected to, but they're interested in being connected to them. So they're looking at their profile, they see that big button that says connect, and they click it. Okay, and they send off a connection request to this person. I'm going to tell you to do the exact opposite. Do not send connection requests, period.
Oh,
Okay. Unless someone is on your list of influencers, unless they are extremely important in your life and you've got a real reason to send a connection request to them, don't do it. Here's why. Actually, two reasons why. One, you have a limited amount of connection requests that you can send in your entire LinkedIn life. Once you hit that limit, which is 3,000, you don't get any more.
oh,
So if you are regularly sending off connection requests, you will hit that limit. And I've seen it over and over. You hit that limit and you actually need connection requests somewhere later in your journey and you don't have them. It's very frustrating for people. So stop sending connection requests. But the other reason is, if you're very strategic in your approach and how you actually uh, connect with these folks or correspond with these folks, you will get them to send you the connection request, because remember, you're the one that sought after. They should be sending you the connection request. So use the other features and functions of the tool to stand out so that they come for you. Okay. You've got plenty of ways you can do that rather than showing up in someone's DM talking about, hey, I'm here, pay attention to me. Use their presence, use their activities. So see the post that they're putting out there, content that they're sharing, comment, like it, share it with your crowd, stand out to them so that they get used to seeing your name in their notifications. Then they're going to go look at your profile, see something of value that stands out, and send you the connection request.
good deal, good deal. All right, so we're down to our final couple of minutes. Any gems or nuggets you want to give for somebody who's kind of iffy about getting on LinkedIn, or somebody that's just getting into LinkedIn? Anything you want to leave them with?
Yes, one main point I've got to make while I'm here. That is, get the premium version of LinkedIn. The free version of LinkedIn gives us permission not to consider you as someone who is serious about investing in their brand, whether you're looking for a job, whether you have a business, whether you're retired and just enjoying life day to day. Get the premium version. Yes, that is when you see that it's $59.99 per month. Yes, it's worth it. Yes, the return on investment is huge. There is one page in particular on LinkedIn that gives me my ROI for the premium version every single month. Um, you've seen the page. It's the page that tells you who's viewed your profile.
Mhm.
Okay. According to LinkedIn data, this one page is the page that Americans go to most often and spend the most time on. Now, I consider that to be because Americans are narcissistic. So they want to know who's looking at them and they refresh that page all day, every day. Okay. Now, if you have the free version, you can only see 5 people at a time. So you really are refreshing that page all day, every day if you've got the free version of LinkedIn. However, If you've got a premium version of LinkedIn, you get to see 90 days worth of people on that page. 90 days worth of people who have viewed your profile. And in my own strategy with LinkedIn, my own approach here, I specifically go through that page. I look for people who found me via search. It will say that under their name. It will tell you how they found you. They either found you in messaging, they found you on their homepage, they found you wherever. I specifically look for the people that found me via search. That means they intentionally typed in my name in the search bar. Okay. You can't do that by accident. You intentionally are coming for me if you've typed my name in the search bar. That's my prospecting page right there. Because when I find those people, I go to their profile, I look it up, I see what the jam is. I immediately put them in the category of warm leads. Those people end up buying.
Good deal. Okay, so clearly I'm gonna have to have you on my actual show so we can actually have a full conversation about this because, of course, we're out of time. So I'll be talking to you about that. Tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
Everybody can find me on LinkedIn, of course, Facebook. I just got on the Clubhouse, but you can find me pretty much anywhere at My Coach Tajuana. And you can also reach out to me directly. I am old school, so I love phone calls. You can always call me at 331-222-9540. Give that number to your friends. But I am My Coach Tajuana on every other platform.
All right, everybody, there you have it. I feel like we just had like a taste. I didn't even get to ask all my good questions. So I really just had a taste, but I'm gonna have her around on one of the shows because I really want to get into this because it really is pertinent to understand the dynamics of LinkedIn for personal and as well as business. So I will see you guys tomorrow with our next Mogulcon interview. Coach Tajuana, you stick around. I'm going to stop this, but you stick around. And all right, I will see you guys tomorrow.